show a horrific photo of expanding foam puking out from under the garage door, but show a damn snake getting in your house. Show us that. Brag about it. I know it sounds like a lot of work, and it kind of is, but if you think about it, these images are your best sale. These are the best salesperson in the world. They work overtime and they don't ever complain about it. They're standing here 24/7 ready to close. Hello guys, and welcome to the Invent With Me podcast, where each week we got aspiring inventors and product creators to turn their innovative ideas into reality. Learn valuable tips, insights, and success stories from people roughing it in the field of inventing so that you yourself can make your mark in the world. Without further ado, this is season 2. I always wanted to hit that thing. Check this out, season 2 of the Invent With Me podcast. And man, I pictured it a little bit differently. I had all these guests lined up. I had it all. I had a real ringer coming in to launch season 2, but things happen. Sometimes you get ghosted in the game of podcasting, and I kid. We just had a scheduling issue, but I had all my camera equipment set up. I had my oddcast, roadcast, whatever cast you want to call it, all ready to record. And I said, let's go Bill O'Reilly. Let's say F it and do it live. And here we are doing Season 2, Episode 1, an overview of killer Amazon images, okay? And this comes to us by way of Ricardo in the Discord. Ricardo, I didn't ask for your permission because this all just came up in the last 5 minutes. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm going to see what happens. So hopefully, since your listing is public on Amazon, you're not going to care if we give it a whirl and see what we can do to make your images better. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is going to be really beneficial, but I'm going to keep in mind that a lot of you are driving in the car right now, and you just need to understand really solid principles of good imagery on Amazon. So before we get into all that, it's time for Grant to be super duper honest, super duper candid, a little bit humbled, eat a little crow. Let's talk about what's been going on with TorqueStrap here in Doral, Florida. Oy vey. So, I ended season 1 right before the holidays, right around Black Friday, 2024. And the reason was to focus on sales. Now, that's absolutely true. And why? Why are we focusing on sales? What's the big deal? Well, and maybe you're asking why, because Grant, you're always preaching about how automated your business is and how it's so self-sustaining and you work on your business and not in your business and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, okay, Grant effed up. Grant effed up big time. Big boo-boo on the Grantster. Okay? Does my business run itself? Yes, for the most part. But no business truly runs itself. No business is truly passive. So to rewind, back on episode, on episode 8, I introduced you to Steven, my head of sales. Steven is an absolute unit. He is now our CRO, Chief Revenue Officer. Sounds fancy. You picture people in an office wearing black suits and briefcases full of crackers, yada, yada, yada. But guess what? We're just some guys working from home trying to figure this whole thing out. Steven is super invested in the business, and he is my right-hand man, and it will not function without him. On episode 31, I introduced you all to Dan the Man. Dan the Man, the social media manager. We found him when I was still living in LA. Awesome dude, extremely creative, tons of acumen in the production space, very savvy with marketing and social media, copy, very professional, all that good stuff. We met Dan, and I had to have him. I had to have him on my team. I want it, so I got it. So we got Dan on the team, and we're plugging along. This was like mid-2024, and it was a great year. Really great. We hired Dan, obviously, because we were feeling prosperous, and we were showing profit, and everything was working out right. And then Steven and I went to China, and we flew business class. That cost about $30,000. And then we bought a ton of inventory. That cost like almost $400,000. And then the inventory kind of didn't come in on time at Christmas. So we got like maybe half of it by Christmas, but the other half of it got here in like January 2025. So that really kind of lopsided all my plans for income in 2024. So long story short, paid for all this inventory, made the last payment, and wouldn't you know it, when you pay a bunch for inventory out of pocket, you really don't have a lot of money left. And as far as loans go, you can keep on taking out loans, but my God, 11% interest adds up fast. You take out a $50,000 line of credit at 11% interest and think, okay, I'm gonna pay $3,000 a month on that thing, and you watch it in your Chase account, and it turns from $50,000. 4 days later, it's $50,000 and $400. It's like, wow, I just lost $400 in 4 days. Okay, this is making me panic. I got to pay this back fast. So, what am I trying to say? What am I getting at? I couldn't afford Dan anymore, and Dan completely understood, and we had an incredible ending to the chapter. Call it the end of a project more than like a layoff or anything. It was great. And we're still great friends, and we still chat. He's working on some ventures. I'm going to help him with those. But hey, it's embarrassing, right? When I hire someone, when you dream of your business and your product turning into a business, and you hire someone, you want to create an environment where people can grow and support their families and brag about their job and make six figures and have a retirement and have health insurance and yeah. But is that what our businesses are as inventors? Is that feasible? I really thought that I had the golden goose and I would just spin golden thread all day long, no problems. But I'm not a numbers person, and I failed to project. I failed to look at the finances. I failed to forecast. And I found myself in a pinch. I found myself in hey, you got 10 grand in the bank, and you got 4 grand in wages going out at the end of every week. And you have a line of credit that you're making payments on, and you have Shopify Capital that they're automatically deducting from your daily sales. It was just too tight. It was scary, not fun. That was just like a month ago, that I had that pinch point. And there is highs and there is lows. And I knew we might recover, but I knew in order to recover, I would have to take on some more debt. And you know what? I wasn't okay with that. I have to continue to pay myself. I have to prioritize kind of my salary and things of that nature. And I have to look at, okay, whose job can I absorb and we won't miss a beat? And Dan did a better job at marketing, social media, emails than I do, far and away. He made the time for it. He was consistent with it. It was his job. He treated it as such. When I take over, no, we don't need to send out an email today. Oh, I don't need to post today, blah, blah, blah. Well, that stuff all adds up. So it's no fun, but I can say I am less stressed now because of the financial aspect. Just strictly the knowing that I can pay myself every week and not feel bad, not feel like I should withhold my check so the guys can get theirs. It's all kind of balanced out now. Laying somebody off kind of helped me realize what are money makers and what aren't. Again, Dan made us good money, but the problem is that I didn't know when you hire an employee, you have to anticipate that whatever salary you're paying them, they're going to pay the company at least 4 times that. You pay them 100, expect them to generate 400. I say at least because really you want more like 7 times that to really have a very profitable individual. Now, not everybody you can put a monetary value on, right? You go to the dentist's office and the receptionist, the office manager can't say, yeah, that receptionist grosses us $225,000 a year in extra revenue, because it's not a revenue generating position. Some things you just have to do to be a good company. You have to answer the phone with a smile on your face. You have to do accounting, blah, blah, blah. Those aren't revenue generating like sales is, where you're literally cold calling and you're nailing down clients. Okay, so any in our world as inventors, people who have created a product and are starting to sell it online, it's usually one SKU. I've taught you guys to do 3-packs, 6-packs, 9-packs, variation, small, medium, large. Not too much colors because that just gets a little messy. But really, us as inventors, we have one or two products, a couple variations, a couple SKUs. Is that really a 8-figure, a $10 million a year business? Not for a while. Not for a while. So what you really have is you have a business, a strong business, but you don't have office space. You are not renting a warehouse, in my opinion. You are not hiring more than one person. I think you should hire one person when you're ready, when you're making, 6 figures. I would say 500 or more a year in gross sales with a pretty good profit margin, a pretty good net profit margin. Then you bring on that one guy or gal who's crucial to the business. And honestly, 2 people can handle a lot of friggin' business in this world. If you own a roofing company, 2 people can't do $2 million a year in roofing work. They just can't. They would have to subcontract a lot or hire a lot. But in inventing and selling on Shopify, selling on Amazon, and a little bit of wholesale, 2 people who are competent can easily run that business. And to the victor goes the spoils, right? So that's where I wanted to start with letting you guys know, hey, obviously I'm human. That's what this whole podcast is about. And I am never going to pull the wool over your eyes or play perfection, the perfect fiddle. No. I screwed up. I hired somebody I wasn't prepared to pay for. I failed to forecast inventory, things of that nature. I found myself in a pinch, and I had to have the most difficult conversation I've had in my entrepreneurial career by far. I was crying on that call. I was way more upset than he was. So that's where I'm at. Now it is Steven and I, and we got rid of our social media we got rid of our Meta Ads manager. We hired a third party to manage our Meta Ads and our Google Ads. Awesome guy. Still recommend him. I wouldn't have been able to get rid of him had I not been kind of slowly learning from him for the last year. So now I run the ads myself, and at the same ROAS, return on ad spend, at the same cost per result, blah, blah, blah. So that was a big savings. That's going to save me somewhere in the realm of $3,000 a month. Obviously the employee. So those are the 2 people that I had to cut this year so that 2025 is about profit. And all that's left is me, Steven, who's full-time, and then Alfonso, our Amazon account manager. Alfonso, if you're listening, cover your ears. I asked Steven, because I was in such a financial pinch, I said, can we get rid of Alfonso? And he goes, let me think about that. Do you know how to log into Amazon, Grant? And I said, and he goes, no, we can't get rid of Alfonso. I kid. I know how to log into Amazon, but when anything goes wrong, I freak out. Okay, and so does Steven. I think I know that's money well spent, and he survived the cut. So uncover your ears, Alfonso. Congratulations, buddy. You made the cut. And that says a lot because I was on a chopping spree. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the importance of Amazon images. Hey, got my product manufactured. I even got it packaged. I worked with a designer on Fiverr. Man, whew, I am beat. Woof. So let's snap some photos of this bad boy and throw it on Amazon. I wonder if I have a button for that. Oh, that's not it. No, look. Your Amazon images are the most important thing of your Amazon listing far and away. Now, Alfonso was on here on, I think, 40 and 39 maybe, the Amazon episode. Who cares? And he said, in the beginning, keywords, things of that nature, they're very important. And yes, that's absolutely true. Because in the beginning, Amazon has nothing to go off of. Amazon doesn't really look at your images. Okay, Amazon is indifferent. They look at how much time people spend on your listing, on your page. If someone spends a lot of time on image 2, then they can gather the data that, hey, we can infer that image 2 is a really good image, but really, what do they care about at the end of the day? The conversion, the click, the buy now button. Did the mofo buy it or not? I want to get these sounds down. Oh, that's a good one. I'll remember that. That one's orange. I don't know why. I think season 2, I'm going to start hitting buttons. I'm feeling confident enough. Sue me. Don't sue me too soon. All right. Now, your Amazon images. At the very basic, the journey of a customer looking at your Amazon images, that is your chance to, 1, get the click. That is your main image. It has to get the click. It has to pull them in against all the people you're competing against, and it has to make sure that they get to the listing to see your price, to see the shipping options. Is it Prime? Is it not? Can I get it by Friday? Okay. Friday, February. Oh, that's in 2 days. Okay, nice. Sorry, I'm looking at Roberto, or was it Ricardo's? What was his name? Let me pull him up real quick. Sorry. Roberto, yes. Oops, don't need to see that. Don't need to see that. So, the second image, it's going to tell people the 3 most important things they need to know about a product. The third image is going to show them how badass it is. The fourth image is going to make people see themselves using it in real life. And the fifth image is going to be a closer or a cross-seller. Hey, guaranteeing this will work because of X. And if you like this, you might also like Y, blah, blah, blah. That is your chance. Now, if your brand is registered on Amazon, then you can put in a video. And this is a very bottom of funnel video. This should look very real. This does not have to be a production by any stretch of the imagination. Should that be a production? You want people to say, hey, that's me. You want to shoot it very real. Shoot it on your cell phone. Shoot it with a little bit of, not so great audio. You don't even have to clip a microphone to your chest. I do, but, I can do that and still make it look natural because, well, I'm so damn good. But as far as how you guys can shoot it, don't overthink it. Just really be literal. Put yourself in this customer's shoes. They go through image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're still not convinced. They still just need to see something. When they click on that video, they are not going to be attracted or turned on or put in buying mode by torquestrap.com. No, that's not what they need in that moment. They need empathy. They need someone. They need someone to lean on to say, everything's going to be okay. My product's going to take care of that exact problem. You're going to install it in less than 3 minutes. Here's how. You already have these tools at home. I'm going to provide you the screws. I'm going to provide you the drill bit. You ain't got to worry about nothing, baby girl. Okay, now you don't say it like that, but you just be very literal. This is the Pest Shield, comes with 4 pieces, all in one package. Included is the screws, the drill bit, very easy to use. Step 1, open it up and apply the first shielding blah, 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 on the fascia, shabada. Okay? Very straightforward. So, we're going to go through a number of rules here. I don't know how many there's going to be. Probably about 5. Could be 30. Rule number 1. The aspect ratio has to be 1:1. That means the picture's gotta be square. Whether you're making this image on Keynote, on PowerPoint, on Photoshop, on any Adobe product or whatever, the aspect ratio should be 1:1. Aspect ratio describes a size, a 1:1, a 1:2, whatever, okay? We all understand that from cooking, mixing oil and gas. What is the ratio? 1:1 means it's a square. The pixels The size, how much data is in the image, I don't know what Amazon recommends, but look, you can't go wrong with 1200 by 1200. More is better. 4000 by 4000, probably overkill. Would it accept it? Sure, but it's going to dumb it down to janky internet quality anyway, so it's kind of overkill, you know? So you can't go wrong with 12, let's say 2000 by 2000 pixels. That's a really big image. That means that would blow up to the size. That would blow up well. Like if you send somebody, you ever gotten an image over text and you open it, or maybe you transfer it to your computer and it's just anus? That's because it was probably 100 pixels by 100 pixels. That won't blow up. That won't expand. But on Amazon, we're looking on our phones. Okay, that thing is tiny. It doesn't really matter. 2000 by 2000, plenty. Okay, moving on. I want it to be square. I'm looking at Roberto's, and it's like a portrait. It's like a portrait ratio size, meaning it's wider than it is tall. That throws people off. We're just not used to seeing that. Okay, square fits in many different directions. Square moves naturally when you're scrolling on Amazon. Portrait style, what? You know, it's a clear indication that this is not consistent with normal Amazon practices. And frankly, I can't believe Amazon even lets this stuff through. I guess they just squeeze it into a square frame, but you're not utilizing their entire square frame when you have a portrait size pixel. And that brings us to rule number 2, which I just thought of off the cuff. Use every millimeter of that main image. So we're going to jump over to the torque strap main image, and this has been the Achilles heel of cargo straps. When you take a picture of a cargo strap, it's long and skinny. However, the framing of the photo, whatever, I don't know why I'm trying to think of a better word for photo. The framing of the photo is square. So how do you fit something long and skinny into something square? I'm sorry, that's the last time. You fit it in by breaking the product down and disassembling it, throwing in your package in the image, throwing in a big sticker, throwing in a close-up of your spring-loaded power band like you see here. Okay, damn. Like you see here, all right? So every part of the square white space has something going on in it. It makes people feel very uncomfortable when you are looking at an image with a lot of white space. And what you'll find is that you will murder your competitors because they have a lot of white space. And what does filling the white space really give at the end of the day? It gives the illusion of abundance. I'm just going to really quickly, don't like doing this, go to my competitor's image. Look at that. Rhino USA. They are the king of the mountain. And look at how populated this image is. If they couldn't fit a ratchet strap in the corner of the image, guess what they did? They added stickers to their product and put the stickers in the product image to fill the white space. Need to show more abundance? Let's include a really thin plastic bag, but it looks awesome in the picture because it has camo print and a logo on it. That comes in the package. That should be in the image. There's no reason. Now look, they did something a little sneaky over here in the corner. They added a opaque kind of blurred out image of a bicycle front end with the ratchet strap attached to it. Oh, I'm sorry, that's on their box. They also included their box that you're going to get it in when it arrives at your house, and the box has a picture on it of the strap in action, right? Now, we know that it's a 4-pack, but they're literally showing us each and every strap, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they separate the long end from the short end, and then they show you each long end, 1, 2, 3, 4. We know it's a 4-pack from the listing. Why do I need to see it? It's so important to see it. So you are dealing with hundreds of thousands of eyeballs a day just scanning past your product at light speed. So do not fall short. And you know, and every month, 2 or 3 months, I'll go and look at these images of mine and say, that's ass. And I'm actually having some stickers made to populate my image better, to make it compete. Okay. And then in 6 more months, I'll think, it's still not enough. I'll include some Velcro ties. All these gimmicky crap I used to hate. I used to say, if someone's putting gimmicks in their product and they're blowing smoke and forget about it, blah, blah, blah. But it works. Okay. So that's rule number 2, populate the living crap out of that image. All right. So moving on. We talked about Roberto's main image. It's not a square frame. It is a portrait style frame. It has a black background. This is not consistent with Amazon listings that we know and that we trust. Now, I get why you did it, Roberto, because your product is white. However, there's more creative ways to do that. This can be done by adding a drop shadow behind each of these cover cards. You know, these are like card style. To give you listeners an overview, this is the Pest Shield Garage Lower Corner Pest Shield 1-door kit. Keep rats, snakes, mice, and other pests out in just minutes. Go buy this product. This is genius because it's on Amazon if you can't tell. The lower corner of our garages, we all know we have the weather strip at the bottom of the metal door, but in the corner, we have this stupid fascia board capping trim that doesn't come down to the ground. So you either have to fill it with that nasty, ugly expanding foam, or you can buy this kit, which looks a lot more elegant, covers up all the gap down there and keeps those nasty things out. I work in my garage. I'm in a damn garage right now, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I get a lizard or something in here on a weekly basis. And it's just, I'm not creeped out by lizards or whatever, but I don't like bringing my wife out here to show her something and she's covering her cheeks and her ears. Is there a lizard in here? I don't want to have to think about it. I want peace of mind. So this is genius, genius, genius. All right. So now you listeners know what kind of product you're looking at. So going back, there's a black background here. I don't like that. I don't want that. I want this to be a white background, and the way you mitigate the issue of your product is white. So how can the background be white? You add a really strong drop shadow. Had we thought about this in the beginning, we might have made this product tan or something like that. But white's the best for all your applications. It's more universal, so I get it. Now, if you can't, so you add a drop shadow to each of these cards or these panels, then they'll really stand out from the background. And spread them out. You know, you have a lot of cards here, but they're all stacked on one another. Spread them out, cover that space, work the zone. You have your packaging in here, which I love. Great idea. This can obviously be bigger, a little bit more clear. You can get rid of the glare on it by putting your light off to the side when you shoot this photo instead of right above it. Okay, so that's the main image. So when we look at Roberto's image number 2, it's a picture of the instructions on a white background, but it's not even really a white background. It looks like he laid the instructions on a piece of white paper. Look, this is where you find somebody on Fiverr, you give them these instructions, and you say, hey, blow my friggin' mind and visualize these instructions, create an image of these instructions with color that really feels tangible, and make it a 1:1 aspect ratio, make the overall image 2000 by 2000 minimum, and blow me away. I mean, that's not going to cost you more than $50 with like a couple revisions. You could ultimately work out all these photos with a Fiverr contract, an Upwork contract, and the whole project might cost you less than $200, right? You want to kind of aim high. You want the more expensive person, and you want to have unlimited revisions because these images are everything. So this image number 2 kind of sucks. Okay, definitely sucks. We already know that. Roberto reached out on the Discord to get our opinions, and I thought, well, what better way? So he knows I'm not throwing shade. So when we go to Torque Strap's image number 2, here's what we see. First of all, it is designed. It's got diamond plate background. Every inch of the frame is covered. And just to read through the language on it, listen to how many words are on this one image, you listeners. Here's how many words are on this one image. And why? You may say, well, that's too much. Well, guess what? People learn from images 5 times faster and more efficiently than they learn from paragraphs or words or bullet points. So here's every word on image number 2. U.S. patented technology, spring-loaded straps, 100 plus pounds of tension with one pull. The spring expands to allow the average user to generate similar levels of tension as with ratchet straps. Steel spring-loaded, adapts to load shift. Ratchet straps loosen, torque straps always stay tight. Dynamic design ensures a secure fit even in the face of load changes. That was a lot, right? I was reading for like 45 seconds. That's just one image. That's my image number 2. Now with that is a lot of bubbles with images of what it's describing, everything I just read to you. We have a really close-up look at the dissected view of the torque strap spring. Why? Consumers are wondering, how does this thing work? How can I trust it? Was it just a bungee in there? We have to nip all that doubt in the bud. Okay, we have to make sure that they have no doubt of the strength and the use cases of this. Is this going to make my life easier? And the answer is yes. It's going to eliminate the need for you to deal with ratchet straps anymore. That's what we want to convey with this particular product, with this particular image. Okay, moving on to Roberto's image number 3. It is a picture of the front and back of his packaging. Okay, first of all, if you're going to do this, Roberto, make it bigger. Make it the size of your frame. This is, imagine on mobile how small this image is. Okay, because the image is far away. Blow those up, make them fill the whole space. And once again, what is image number 3 supposed to do? I can't remember, so let me just look at my listing. Okay, we have a comparative analysis. So image number 3, all right, so 1 got your attention, 2 shows you exactly why you need it, 3 shows you comparisons. Compare this to other options. So show a horrific photo of expanding foam puking out from under the garage door and sun faded and orange. You know how that stuff gets. Show that image with a big X going through it. Compare it to caulking. Caulking doesn't cover the gap, and once again, it's nasty and builds up dirt and grime and stupidity and blah, blah, blah. So a big image of someone caulking the bottom with a giant X through it. After that, you can do one more comparison or just let the animals in your house show. It can just be a cartoon. It doesn't matter. People understand. But show a damn snake getting in your house. Show a Texas rattler sneaking into that son of a gun. That'll get people's attention really quick. Shock and awe. That's what we need, people. I'm going to take a drink, so just enjoy this one. Okay, so that's image number 3, comparative analysis. Now, in my comparative analysis, we went as far as to create a grid or I don't do Excel, so I don't know like a chart. Okay, yeah, a chart. There we go. Good job, Grant. So we have columns representing the different options of cargo securing, bungees, cams, ratchets, or torque straps. And then we have rows that will indicate whether or not that strap can do that particular task. So torque strap obviously gets 5 checks. It is 100 pounds plus of tension. Check. It is heavy duty. Check. It does adapt to load shift. Check. It is easy to use. Check. It is fast. Check. No other product that I'm competing against got 5 full checks. We were honest. If they were strong, if they were heavy duty, we gave them credit. If they were fast, we gave them credit. But none of them did it all. You guys have seen these analysis, these little charts. Okay, very simple stuff. So Roberto, you can do the same thing. You can have. So what I would do is on the top, I would do like 3 images. We talked about how you can expanding foam it, do that here with a big X going through it, how you can caulk it with a big X, or how you can just let the Texas rattlesnake into your, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, guys, come on, how you can let critters into your garage with a big X through it, and then down here, a nice big rectangular comparative analysis. So your attributes or your data points, whatever the hell they're called, could be like caulking. Does it cover the whole gap? No check. Your product does. It gets a check. Caulking. Does it look good? No check. Your product gets a check, Roberto. Air sealing. Okay, we'll give caulking a check there. It could technically air seal it. But so does yours, and yours looks good and all that, So you get all the attributes. Your competitors get maybe 50% of them. And if they're really bad, they get even less. So it's a way of throwing shade, but being fair and just letting people know you have something that is better. What do we have? 40-ish minutes? I started not quite on that time, maybe 35 minutes. Okay, here we go. Image number 4. Okay, we recently swapped out this image, so I'm going to scream at Alfonso after I get off this podcast, but this is still a decent image nonetheless. So image number 4, it's a little bit more education, evolution of load securing, a little bit more about how we work, why you can trust the limiter band, why the spring isn't going to break. Okay, some close-ups of the soft loop, push to release buckle. Okay, so let's go back to Ricardo's listing. Image number 4. I like that you're showing it in use here, Ricardo. You have a before and after photo, a very clear split screen. But hey, this can be accomplished with a lot more information. Or this before and after could have been on image number 2 or image number 3, right? Because it only needs to occupy a quarter of the screen for me to get it. People can comprehend images in a matter of milliseconds, 13 milliseconds in some cases. So I love the before and after. I think this is probably your most valuable image. However, I should have seen this 30 seconds ago. You know what I mean? You got somebody clicking through these images fast. Let's be honest. They're spending 1.5 seconds on each image. I should have seen this in the first 1.5 seconds, buddy. Now, that to be said, the caulking, the siliconing on this looks like crap. No offense, but you could, I wouldn't caulk it like that, or I would put the caulking underneath. So maybe let's do another one, Roberto, without that nasty clear silicone that is clearly finger smeared on there. But what do we want to do with this image? We want to let them know that they can trust the product. So I would do a close-up on this screw, literally a round picture of the screw with a little call-out coming off of it saying stainless steel screws, guaranteed to last. Throw guarantees out like they're going out of style, people. You know why? If someone hits you up and they're like, whoa, there's a guarantee, odds are you're going to give them a refund or return regardless of the guarantee because something came up that you're embarrassed about and you need to own up to, right? Say that one of their screws just rusted through. No matter if you had a guarantee in place or not, you would replace that product because you're human and you're a good person, right? Right. Okay, so stainless steel screw guaranteed to last. Okay, that makes me feel warm inside. These aren't going to be rusty screws. This isn't going to have rust stains dripping down the white and into my driveway. No. This is going to be gorgeous. Okay, and then I don't know what this material is. Still, Roberto, is this plastic? Is this paper? Frankly, it looks kind of thin, like a glorified paper. But I know it's plastic because the manner in which you're using it and how durable it is and how rigid it looks. It doesn't have any creases or anything. But you have to be so damn literal with humans. Humans are the worst. And you have to tell them every little thing that you know as a fact that is just second nature to you. You have to explain it to them like they're 5. God bless them. And then any other thing. Okay, let's talk about, tell me how thick it is with a call out, these cards. Maybe they're 3 millimeters thick. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. But you called it out, so clearly you're proud of it. So if you're confident, I'm confident, and I'll buy the damn thing. Son of a gun. I got to stop doing solos. All right, so that is image number 4. This is just going to call out every good little detail visually of your product. Also, every garage is not the same, Roberto, and I know your product works whether this cap board was a 1x8 or a 1x10 or a 1x12. You can cover it, right? Show us that. Brag about it. I know it sounds like a lot of work, and it kind of is, but if you think about it, these images are your best sale. These are the best salesperson in the world. They work overtime, and they don't ever complain about it. They're standing here 24/7, ready to close. So spend the extra time. Spend a couple weeks on these. Redo them every 4 months. I do. We have to. I fell in love with the first images I put on Amazon. I would not even show them now because my computer screen would probably crack. Because now my computer screen is used to seeing beauty and elegance, and what I made before was, whoa, was it bad. And honestly, Roberto, I'm so sorry. I have a really good friend named Ricardo. Honestly, Roberto, this is about how my first images looked. So, no harm, no foul, buddy. Okay, this last image, also very, very valuable. One of my favorites, shows what this is going to look like in my life. And again, this can be done. This could have been done in image number 2, just smaller and off in the corner, or with as a little bubble, a little pop-up in that image with a call out saying, look at this. I would also do an image where you paint it the same color as the garage, right? Because this kind of sticks out like a you-know-what in a cake. Just spray paint it the same brown as the garage, and then say you can even paint it to color match or leave it as is, and it still looks great, right? So, yeah, man, a lot can be done with these images. So, I'm sorry, and for you listeners, it's just a pulled away image of this guard in both corners of the bottom of the garage door, perfectly covering. It's just that the garage door is dark brownish gray, and the, what is the name of this product? Pest Shield. We need a better name, something I can just refer to. But we'll say the Pest Shield. Even that's tough to say. Is in place and working. It's just white, so it kind of sticks out. He used the entire image, the entire 2,000 by 2,000 pixels to convey this. What's really important in this image? This little corner right here and this little corner right here. So let's just blow those up, expand them, and let's use the rest of the space to throw in keywords and language and confidence. I want to see a picture of a snake biting a 3-year-old on the neck. Oh, that's too soon, too close to home. But you know what I mean? Like, I want shock and terror, birdemic. I want to see myself being in peril because I don't have your product. That's what gets people to buy, okay? So go out there, be out there. And I don't practice what I preach. My images are very modest. No one's dying in my photos. No one's being attacked in their sleep by a ratchet strap. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I am one person in profession and another person on the podcast, but the information is the same, right? So the last thing, which we're not going to get into, is your video. Oh, no, I talked about that in the beginning. So once you have brand registry, you can make the video and you can make it very bottom of funnel. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is how you have a great image suite of your product. Yeah, I know I'm running out of new words, so I'm just going to keep recycling the old ones. Whew. Okay. So that's Amazon Images, Roberto, and all you listeners. These are, look, guys, I said it a few minutes ago. These are your traveling salesmen who do not require a paycheck and they do not complain about overtime. There's no labor laws in which an image can sue your company. So damn, man, instead of thinking about that warehouse you could rent for $700 a month, instead of thinking about that employee you could get to do certain things for you, cold call, going to trade shows, spending $5,000 on a trade show and blah, blah, blah. People, the answer's right in front of you. It's going to cost you less than $500 and some time. Make those images work for you while you sleep. And then you use the images on Shopify and boom, you got a 2-for-1 done. And yes, I use the same images from Amazon as Shopify. You can add a few extras in, more lifestyle photos, I would call them, like your product just in use. No call outs, no salesy crap, just the product in use. You can have as many photos as you want on Shopify, but just, I would say less than 8 overall. Amazon gives you 5 plus a video, sometimes a few more if you're brand registered. Shopify, you just do 8, okay? So there it is, people. That is episode 1, season 2 of the Invent With Me podcast. And forgive me, because I'm shooting out of order now because I got dark doored today. However, this may be episode 3. Who knows? Who really cares? All right, guys, the Invent With Me podcast. Remember, we took the punches so that you don't have to. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.